Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome to this episode of The Wellspring Within, Realizing the Self. I am so delighted to bring you this episode. And as I was sitting down to record, all of a sudden I had this image come to my mind of a beautiful Chinese dragon, this fierce and swirling symbol of this beautiful dragon. And I thought, why am I seeing this dragon? And I realized it's about abundance and blessings and love. And what is the highest blessing? I think the highest blessing is to come to realize our own selves. We spend our lives looking outward, being taught the way things are. Last time we talked about how sometimes we run from stillness because we don't want to have to process or slow down or deal with the mind or any of that stuff. But honestly, once you do stop running, and you allow yourself to be in that stillness that we talked about in the last episode, you start discovering something marvelous. You start discovering the inner kingdom, who you really are. And it is a journey, a path, and a process. But this inward journey, this inner discovery, it's not just for mystics and yogis and meditators and people of spiritual bent, prayer and contemplation. It's for everybody because we are all capable of turning our attention inside and realizing who we are. In fact, I believe it is the call of our civilization at this time, the saving grace, the call to action that we must discover who we really are. Because if we get in touch with the depth of our inner beings, we're not going to be able to do some of the things that are happening right now on this planet. We will wake up as a species, as a humanity, as one global human tribe of being, and act in unison for the good of all once we truly realize who we are and wake up to that understanding. But as you may have already figured out, to do this requires some turning within, some introspection, observation, learning, growth, meditation, contemplation, self-study, experience, life, caring. So many avenues of our existence help to turn us inside. I've had the great good fortune to study with an extremely wonderful meditation teacher who helped me to reframe my understanding growing up and helped me to experience what it was to turn inside. But you don't have to spend hours and years and decades practicing meditation to start the journey to go inside. It just speeds it up a lot. It's really nice. And actually, learning to focus the mind into a one-pointedness, that is a wonderful starting place. And you might already have that capacity and don't even realize it. Maybe you are an artist or a creative or someone who loves to cook or has an activity that you do a lot that you zone into and absolutely become one with it, and your mind becomes one-pointed. Think about that for yourself. Where in your actions and your activities do you have a sense of being so one-pointed that you're absorbed? Maybe time just passes. There's no sense of time. I feel that way sitting out on the porch in the morning, listening to the birds, staring at the trees with my morning coffee and the puppy dog. When do you feel that way? So, that one pointed absorption of the mind is a starting place because that's when the mind is centered. And from that place, you can look outside or you can easily turn and begin to look inward at the inner journey to realizing your own self, your own nature. If you're like most of us, you grew up with a story told to you about who you were, who you are, where you came from, your family, your beliefs, your culture, your religion, your society, the rules, the law, the traditions. You have a paradigm in your mind, a construct that was built out of all of these ideas. And it's easy to identify that I am that. That's who I am. That's what we often think of in the regular 3D world. Like, this is who I am. I know who I am. I come from this family. I do this work. I fill in the blank. But that's not the self I'm talking about. I'm talking about who you are underneath that identity, the real you, the secret inner true you, the you who is like that innocent child who was not told anything yet. Do you remember? Have you searched yourself? Do you experience it now already, every day? It is a worthy endeavor. And to realize the self is just empowering. It creates so much well-being, the practice of turning within. And I'm not talking about thinking about who you are. I'm talking about even deeper than the surface level of thought, about the experience of being who you are. Who are you at your soul level? Your heart, when your heart is not squeezing with one emotion or another, how is your experience? Like, who is that? So this practice, this self-inquiry, can really empower you. And you don't even have to make time in your busy day for it. Nope. Like when you're driving, you're listening to a podcast, you're chopping vegetables, you're taking care, you're cleaning, you're working. You can just cultivate awareness and watch who it is that you're being inside. Who's beneath the emotions? Who's beneath the thoughts? Who's beneath all the surface levels? I wanted to share with you a quote from a book from my Japanese master teacher, Sensei Nakazono. And the book is called Inochi, the Book of Life. He was called Mikoto Masahiro Nakazono, and he was an amazing man who left a beautiful legacy and treasure in his books, talking about the original sound vibrations of the universe as the Kodotama principle, the Kodotama sounds, the sacred syllables sound. And I'm actually the holder of these books, and I have a website that I will put in the show notes that you can link over to if this is something that you're really interested in. And I loved his viewpoint on the modern civilization and where we're going and the need to wake up for all of us. So I wanted to read you a couple of paragraphs of what he said in his book, Inochi. If we do not know or realize the self, if we do not search and continue daily practice and inner reflection, trying to develop along the way of our inner dimensions, if we just naturally move around, motivated by the desires of the day, unconcerned with the inner self or searching, but mistaken in the way to search for our own development, then we cannot realize our higher dimensions capacities, the manifestation and activity of the deeper self. We cannot use our total capacity as a human being for our actual life. We come to the end of our physical life without knowing the truth, without having the highest morality. We finish our lives without ever knowing what is real human life. So, what is real human life? The life that is beneath the swirling thoughts and the winds of emotion, the real life of you deep inside. This entity that you are, this being, this person, without any descriptions. Like, have you taken the time to start looking at that? And how does that make you feel? Are you running from keeping still? Are you, like I had been, practicing too much doing? Do. And do doesn't smell so good. And does that keep you from going within to discover the vast depths and treasures within yourself? So again, you don't need to be identified with any particular religion or path. You don't have to be a meditator. You don't have to do or be anything to simply use your human capacity to look inside and turn within. Speaking of turning within, I want to share with you a message from Golden Life Healing that will help you with tools to do exactly that.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jeannie Arunima at Golden Life Healing, and I want to share something with you that has been extraordinary in my life. Are you someone who is looking for a way to keep stress from creeping up into your life and causing havoc with your health? Listen carefully, because I've discovered a secret that empowers all of your well-being naturally, and it's so easy. It's an ancient practice that's been used by seekers and mystics of all traditions, and it's available right now to every single one of us. And what is it? I call it going to the wellspring within. And how? I've made it effortless for you in Golden Life Audio Journeys. Golden Life Audio Journeys are transformational guided meditation created to help you empower your energy and health and well-being. But listen, you don't have to take my word for it. Visit my online store and see for yourself. At Golden Life Audio Journeys, you will find all kinds of empowering topics, such as self-healing and self-love, prosperity and gratitude, as well as inner peace and relaxation. So after the podcast, head over to the audio store at goldenlifehealing.com. When we take the time to create and foster our own well-being, it's also a gift to those around us. For truly, as we heal ourselves, we heal our world. All blessings and love to you from goldenlifehealing.com.
Okay, well, welcome back. So today we're talking about this practice of turning within, realizing who you are at your core, realizing the self. You will be so surprised if you've never done this kind of introspection. You will be so surprised when you find out who you really are. The deeper you go, the more love and joy and acceptance and inner peace. And it's a lifelong pursuit. This is why the great sages teach to go within, teach us to be still and look inside. So whatever your tradition, or belief system or practice. Give yourself this opportunity to start making little inroads, deepen the grooves, the pathway to going inside and experiencing the amazing, amazing being that you really are underneath all of the identifications. You know, there's some really powerful, wonderful results and byproducts, if you will, about practicing going inside. So, I want to talk a little bit about meditation. So, the yogis would say that 10 minutes of meditation is equal in rest to a full hour of deep sleep. And this sounds amazing, right? Then we will all be meditating and getting way less sleep and feeling great, right? Actually, this is kind of true. I practice this. When I do get a deep meditation in regularly, I really do sleep less. And I would challenge you meditators out there. If you are consistent in your practice, and let's say you practice going inside 20 minutes a day, see how much more rested you are. Or if in fact, maybe you need a little less sleep. It's a really fun call to action. So you can use audios like the ones you just heard about. You can go and do a mindfulness practice, a deep meditation, zazen, yogic meditation, introspective prayer and contemplation. You know, the Christian mystics were deep meditators. They were communing and touching the divine. So I'm going to ask you, when you realize your inner self, layer by layer, little by little, what comes up for you? How is that experience? And how would you like to share that with your loved ones? You know, you never have to talk about it, because when we go inside, we change our frequency. What happens when we do practices like this is that the yin and yang energy, the different energies of the body settle down. Over time, the mind and the thoughts settle down. And the nervous system, the meridians and the chakras and the energy systems of the body go into a peaceful state of homeostasis, balance, flow, and alignment. And when this happens, stress just goes away. Old patterns wash away. And we become brighter and brighter, and our frequency increases. We experience more and more self-love, and whatever values and virtues you hold, they become shinier. It's true. This inner practice of realizing yourself is not selfish at all. In fact, it's just like when I say, as we heal ourselves, we heal the world. As we come to know ourselves, this frequency that increases goes out and brightens up all of humanity. So I fully believe that as we come to know ourselves, we really are uplifting each other. So the call to action for you, how can you continue to realize your own self? What favorite practices, contemplations, journaling, activities, thoughts, questions, conversations, what do you like to do that will help you get in touch with your deeper self, that will help you self-love, self-care, and connect inside? Because that's sacred. Connecting with yourself and realizing your own self is a sacred action. And we all have it. We all have the capacity. It's just like a muscle. If you never use it, it's weak. But the more you use it, the more you go inside, the more you practice, whichever way you like, the stronger it gets, the easier it gets. And the next time you're stuck in traffic or behind some loud, annoying person in a grocery line, you will be even stronger at being able to move your attention, come right back inside to who you really are, and be inside that eye of the storm, inside the center of the circus where you can actually feel great. You're in charge, you're in control. And this is a powerful, powerful way of creating your own well-being, is to continue or begin stepping onto that path of finding out who you really are inside. To me, it's the journey of a lifetime. And you can't go wrong because you are a golden being. You are a divine being. You're here on this planet at a very important time when all of humanity is starting to wake up and realize who we really are. And what the F are we really doing on this planet? Let's make some great decisions. So empower yourself, go within, use your practices. And if you have any questions or comments, you want to reach out to me, reach out to me. Feel free to use my email and contact me directly. And until next time, please cultivate your well-being. Go on the journey within and take really great care. So, all blessings and love to you from Golden Life Healing. Namaste.